You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thank you for joining us on American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by Ethan Euchre.
Glad to be here.
Jeffrey Wagstaff.
MacDill Air Force Base Air Show greetings to Tampa Bay.
Indeed.
Ooh, all right. And world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute. Thanks for being here. And he remains silent, of course.
What you got, Doc?
Well, you know, the one thing about Dr. Bonati is he loves to do the show. First of all, so you see the other side of him, because when he's at the Bonati Spine Institute, he is so laser focused, and he's really trying to get to the true root cause of the patient's problems. This gentleman has taken his lunch break to help people walk again after they were in wheelchairs and to motivate them to take those steps. That is something you don't see at other facilities. The fact that this man takes his time to call patients back on the phone, that is, again, something you hear from a lot of the patients that never happen. Patients are going to other places that claim to do what Bonati does, and they don't. And they don't have access to those doctors. At the Bonati Spine Institute, at any time, you can speak with the doctors. And that's fantastic. That's the way it should always be. That's what true medicine is all about. He changed spine surgery forever. He did away with traditional spine surgery and the failure rate that brought to patients. And he developed his own exclusive procedures and patented methods and tools to help patients be resolved of pain. With that said, we have an exciting show lineup. We're going to be speaking about food addiction.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yes.
interesting. And I was telling Jeff, which he thinks he might have one now, but apparently they did some research where parts of the brain
Yes.
that are responsible for food cravings light up
Yes.
the same way as they do
Drugs.
with drug addiction.
Addiction would be
believe that.
addiction.
I guess so. So it's pretty interesting research, and we'll talk about that.
And then we have Folgiere.
Folgiere.
We have Paul. He's going to be in studio with us telling us about this new way of life, like a fitness.
It's like a wellness center.
It is.
And they've got some pretty cool cutting edge stuff.
Oh,
you and
yeah.
I already went and filmed a segment for TV,
Yes.
so we've been there. And
A lot of fun.
It's pretty cool stuff.
And then, of course, we'll hear what's new in American medicine today. But up first,
In today's Back to Life segment, we will talk to a patient of the Bonati Spine Institute who went from living a life that was restricted by pain and discomfort through their journey of finding the Bonati Spine Institute and are now living pain-free.
my pleasure to introduce to the program from Ocala, Florida, Debbie Winters Durant. Thank you for joining us.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You have spent so many years suffering in pain. Why don't you tell us how you came to be in pain? Were you in an accident, or was it just activities you think took its toll on you over time?
No, I was not in any accident. I just think it's wear and tear.
Okay.
I believe maybe just my years of waitressing. I was a
Got it.
waitress for 15 years.
Right.
And when I was waitressing, you're young and you're moving around. You just don't think that it's doing all this damage to your body,
Sure.
carrying all those heavy trays and bus buckets.
Of course.
And I started having a few problems while I was waitressing, and I'd go to a chiropractor,
All right.
and he'd take care of it, and I wouldn't have any more problems for a while, and then I'd go to see a chiropractor again. And eventually, that was in the 90s,
Okay.
and then I got done waitressing in 2000, and after that, I noticed that I was having more difficulty,
All right.
and it kept getting a little worse and a little worse, and as I kept getting a little older.
Okay. Can I stop you? Because when you're talking about things getting worse, what did that pain feel like? Can you explain it to the listeners?
Oh, it was like an aching in my lower back, and it would ache and stab, or it would burn, and it would go down my lower back through my hip, down into my the back of my leg,
Okay.
around my knee. It
Oh, my
felt
goodness.
like as it kept getting worse, it almost felt like somebody had put a band around my knee and was pulling on it, and it would burn, and my feet would get hot and burn, and that's how I can describe a lot of the pain,
Okay.
is aching and some stabbing and a lot of burning.
Ouch.
That's terrible.
What did you do when you felt that sort of pain? Did you seek out conservative treatments? Did you try different medications?
I did. My primary doctor put me on gabapentin.
Okay.
And I started with one. I got up to 4 a day. They're 300 milligrams each.
Okay.
So I was taking 1,200 milligrams of gabapentin a day.
Now, Debbie, just let me jump in here. Is that, I don't know what that is. Is that an opiate? Doc, is that an opiate type drug? Painkiller?
Yes,
It's a type painkiller.
it's supposed to
Yeah.
be like a pain reliever.
Okay.
Okay.
Not an addictive one, no.
Okay.
And it's to help with the pain.
All
Sure.
right.
But even with taking 4 of those a day,
Sure.
I was still popping a leave and taking a leave.
Yeah.
And
That's no
when
way
I
to
mentioned
live.
that to my doctor, she's like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And I said, but I have to. I can't even get out of bed. I don't know what else to do to try to get through the day.
Right.
So I went to a doctor.
Okay.
She recommended me to another doctor who was supposed to be a specialist.
All right.
And I went to him, and he did some X-rays. He looked at me. He had me go back the second time. The third time that I went back to him, he said, don't come back to me. He said, I can't do anything for you. There's nothing. He kind of made me believe that the pain was in my head. Like
Wow.
I really wasn't having the pain.
Right.
And I had asked him then about surgery, and he said, we do surgery to put people back to where you are right now. There's nothing I can do for you, and don't come back.
You know what's crazy is that we actually hear that quite
Yeah.
often. And I mean, I don't know if it's just lack of knowledge on their part, the
gotta
part
be.
of the doctor, or they're baffled, so they just say, well, I don't know, it must be in your head.
Well, they don't have the Bonati spine procedures.
Well,
That's part of
exactly.
it.
And that has to leave the patient in a real mess. Like, okay, I know I'm suffering this pain.
Right.
My doctor says they can't help me. Now what the heck do I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you
I
do?
did nothing. I kept popping pills and gabapentin and Aleve and
Wow.
thinking there's nothing out there for me. Then I started having problems with my left foot, which was
Okay.
totally unrelated. But I had a little tumor on the side of my
Okay.
foot. And, that really threw my back off real bad because I was in a medical boot for 10 months.
Got it.
Then they did surgery. I wore a cast for 6 weeks. And then I was back in the medical boot for another month.
Wow. So that must have thrown you all off kilter.
It did. That's when the back became extreme. And this has been 3 years now that it's really become extreme. And
Okay.
I just didn't even know what to do. I was sleeping my life away because pills weren't helping.
Okay.
The doctor didn't want me. So I finally, I went to pain management.
Sure.
And I had, I had 9 injection shots.
Wow.
Not all at once,
Right.
but I had to go up and they did 3 at a time.
Okay.
And so I had 9, and then they did 3 shots of radioactive ablation.
Okay.
That didn't touch it. I was just feeling nothing. They
Okay.
did electroid tests on my foot, and
Debbie, fair to say that you've tried everything.
everything. Yeah. So once the shots didn't work, and I'm still popping pills trying to get through
Wow.
the day, still sleeping the day away because I didn't even want to get out of bed because it hurt so much.
I bet. How did you make your way from Ocala to Hudson, Florida to see Dr. Bonati?
Oh, well, now, I have a very good friend, lives next door. Her name
Okay.
is Donna.
Okay.
And Donna had gone down to Dr. Bonati about 5 years ago,
Sure.
had her neck fixed.
Okay.
And she was having problems with her neck. So
right.
she was telling me how wonderful it was down there and how wonderful he was. And she said to me last year, why don't you go and see Dr. Bonati? And I'm like, he's not going to do anything any more than anybody else.
Sure.
I had at this point even done physical therapy. And
Right.
after 2 months of physical therapy, they're like, we can't help you.
Wow.
So Donna says, well, you've done everything. She says, why don't you just give him a call? And I go, I will. I'll call him.
And
Well,
you
she
didn't.
came over with a phone in her hand one day. She dialed the number, and she goes, here, you're going to talk. And I said, talk to who? She goes, I just called Dr. Bonati's office for you. And I'm like, okay. So they got on the phone and got my name and information, and I did have my MRI with me.
Okay.
So they gave me the fax number, and
Sure.
I faxed down my MRI to Dr. Bonatti's institute.
Right.
Well, I think it was within an hour.
Okay.
The phone rang, and it was Dr. Bonatti on the phone. And I'm like, who is this?
Yeah.
Very
Shocking.
shocked to hear from the doctor. I figured, like maybe a nurse will get
Right.
back to me. No, Dr. Bonatti was on the phone. He had looked at my MRI in that hour.
Right.
And he said, you come down here. He says, I can fix you.
So you come down to the institute. You're greeted by Paul, you said, and then you have the evaluation with Doc. Did you feel like he knew where your pain was stemming from?
You know, it was like he lived my life with me.
Okay.
From the minute I laid eyes on that man and he put that MRI up on the board and was looking at it, he told me exactly where my pain was. I didn't have to tell him anything. He said, I confirmed everything. And I'm like, that's it. And it's like, wow, this is the first doctor that I've ever looked at that knows exactly what I feel, where I feel, and how I feel. Right then, I was just like, totally just blown right away.
Debbie, we're almost out of time. Can you just quickly walk us through the surgery? Did you watch?
I did. I was awake for the surgery.
Okay. With the conscious IV sedation.
Yeah. So I watched it. It was on a screen, and I watched, and they like you to be awake so they know exactly where they're going.
Correct.
And can feel exactly the nerve that, they know the nerve, and where I'm feeling it when they're at it.
Right.
And, yeah, watch the whole thing. And I'm not nervous. The first time I was a little nervous.
Right.
But I've been through it 5 times now.
And how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm, so you had the surgical pain. You got to get through that. It's
Correct.
surgery. And you're but it's healing pain.
Right.
My initial pain is totally gone.
That's fantastic. Well, we truly appreciate you sharing your story with us. I'm sorry we're out of time, but I love hearing from all the patients, and thank you so much. Debbie Winters Durant of Ocala, Florida, thank you for sharing your story of regaining strength and getting back in motion.
Thanks, Debbie.
Thank you. Yeah.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yet another example of doctors saying, I don't know what I can do.
I
Dr.
know.
Bonatti works his magic, and
Absolutely.
she feels fine today.
855-267-0483 or visit Bonatti.com. You, too, can get the relief you need. Coming up after the break, we're going to be discussing food addiction. Make sure you stay tuned. You're listening to American Medicine Today. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years, and it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results, no pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone, nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now, I can garden, I can cook, and I'm really thrilled. The outcome has been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonatti Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonatti spine procedures, Alfred Bonatti, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonatti and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thank you for tuning in to American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by Ethan Euchre.
Glad to be here.
Jeff Wagstaff.
Thanks for having me, Kimberly.
And Dr. Alfred Bonatti of the Bonatti Spine Institute. Well, we're excited because in our continuing coverage of the obesity epidemic in America, today we're highlighting research which shows that food addiction affects the brain in the exact same way as drug addiction. And here to discuss that is Dr. Sandeep Grewal, co-author of Fat Me Not, Weight Loss and the Diet of the Future. So thank you for being here, Dr. Grewal.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I found this fascinating that, I guess addiction is addiction, but you tend to think, when I hear food addiction, just like certain other addictions, you think, okay, yeah, that's really an addiction. You just want to eat too much. You like to binge eat, things like that. But your research has found that it actually does light up the same parts of the brain as drug addiction, correct?
That's correct, because whenever we eat food, the pleasure that it gives us lights up the same spots in the brain as somebody does cocaine or any other drugs. And that's the reason food addiction is dangerous too, because once it sets in, it's very difficult for us to get rid of it. And like you said, many times we blame ourselves for it, but the research is showing more and more that it's not our weakness that we get addicted to food. It is because of what we choose to eat that makes us addicted to food.
That's what I was just going to ask. So more or less, it's a chemical in the foods that we're eating or drinking that's causing the problem?
Yes. For example, they did a research in rats in the laboratory in which what they did was they gave the rat a sugary drink. And what they noticed was whenever the rat drank a sugary drink, it would eat more that day. And as they kept on giving this rat a sugary drink every single day, what they discovered was that the rat was showing binge eating behavior and food addiction. And so how many times a day we all go around drinking one, 16 ounce or 32 ounce or even 10 ounce of sugary drink, any soda, or whether it could be iced tea or it could be even the fruit punch that we think are good, but they are actually not good for us. So all these things are creating that food addiction in us as we go from day-to-day activity. And it sounds so innocent, but even one glass of 16-ounce soda a day, if we are drinking it, we are bound to get addicted to food.
Okay, this is interesting because right at the beginning of the show, somebody went to give Dr. Bonatti, and what was the sweetener called?
It was Jeff's wife, actually.
My wife was here, and she has recently been on a diet, and she has substituted all sweeteners to stevia. And so it's a stevia. Am I pronouncing that?
Stevia, something like that.
Yeah, right.
But I was upset because Dr. Bonatti has weaned himself off sugars and he dropped close to 30 pounds. And I said, please don't
Kimberly
give
went
him
in a
that.
motherly mode. She's like, no,
well,
he can't have that.
But it is so bad, and you're reinforcing that. You just said it yourself. Just by starting to take any sort of sugar, it makes your body go into like fat storing mode because you're going to start binge eating.
Right. And here's the trick with this is to make sure that we are not eating too much of sugar at one time. For example, similar research was done with cookies and cakes, which are all over the place, and we all love to eat it. What they did was they gave the rats mixture of, sugar and fat and carbs, so which are our regular cookies and cakes. And what they found, the rat would eat most of its day's calorie within the next 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
But so when we eat cookie and cake, and that's how the food addiction starts or our diet derails. For example, we are doing good on a diet. We are perfectly eating the way we are trying to eat, and one day we see this big piece of cake in our refrigerator, and we decide to take a big slice of it. And when that happens, that triggers those cravings, that triggers those food addiction habits, and that's how when we start eating more and more, and suddenly we find ourselves blaming ourselves for the failure of the diet, but it's actually that mixture of fat and sugar that did it. But again, this happens when we take a larger amount. When we take a very small portion, for example, 2 finger breadth of cookie or cake, then we would not have that much craving. So something in moderation,
how did you
very
say
little
that?
is better.
Two
fingers worth? Is that what you said?
2 fingers worth?
Yes.
Well,
Just like how you measure whiskey,
Wow.
2 fingers.
Dr. Graywall, I have
Okay.
a confession to make to you, sir.
Yes, sir.
I feel like I have that food addiction that you talk about. And exactly the way you described.
Hang on, says the guy who's like 170 pounds and probably not an ounce of fat on him.
About a 12% body fat.
I think that's a experiment we all can do, and you could, and for a day it probably doesn't matter. You could try that. You could drink a big glass of soda in one of the days, and you will see that you are eating more that day. You are craving for different stuff that day. When you get home from work, you will be finding yourself looking for more food. So these things do happen, and you can actually observe these subtle behaviors in us as we take different kind of foods, and that's why I call them the death foods. Sugary drinks and mixture of carbs, fat, and sugar. These are death foods because they put us into that spiral in which we want to eat more and more and more of it.
Wow.
See, with me, the thing is sugar is almost unavoidable. I mean, it's in bread. It's in things that you wouldn't even expect that
Stop eating your bread.
sugar would be in.
Right.
And in fact, my first thought that I wanted to actually get out when you first mentioned this about sugar is that a certain fast food chain that will remain nameless has been rumored to put sugar on their French fries, which again, you wouldn't think French fries, they don't need sugar, but they do it on there because it triggers those cravings, and then you drive by and you want to go get those fries.
Is this the same nameless place that used to put like beef broth in their fries?
I never heard that one, but everybody knows
but I think you bring
who
up
I'm
a
talking
right
about.
point, though, because if you look at the fast food restaurant and if you go there and if you order a French fry and a burger and a soda, you will be able to finish all of it.
Right.
But if you just order the French fry and a burger and a Coke, you may not be able to finish all the meals. So that sugary drink or maybe fries coated with sugars too would make us eat more, and that's what the fast food industry wants us to do.
Yeah, of course. Now, can you explain what brown fat is?
Brown fat, yeah, this is a new concept. So what's happening is that our body has 2 kind of fats. One is a white fat, one is a brown fat. The brown fat has a lot of batteries in it, like mitochondria, that's what we call them. So this is what we call as the fat burning mode. This kind of fat goes away much quicker than the white fat, which is resistant to go away.
Got it.
So whenever we exercise, first of all, we need to know that diet causes weight loss more than exercise. Almost 90% of the weight loss comes from diet alone, and only 10% comes from exercise.
Really?
But when we exercise, we want to convert this white fat into brown fat so that we can burn it off. And the best way to do it is not aerobics, as it is thought. The best way to do it is to build muscles, because our muscles secrete a chemical called irisin, and this irisin is the chemical which converts this white fat into brown fat. So building muscles is a better way of losing weight than to run.
So hit the gym, basically, is what we need to take away from this. All right.
Thank you so much. We could have this conversation forever, but unfortunately we're out of time. Dr. Sandeep Graywall, co-author of Food Addiction.
Fat Me Not, Weight Loss, and the Diet of the Future.
Talking about food addiction, yes.
That's right. The topic is
Fat
food
Me
addiction.
Not.
Yeah, so grab the book. I'm sure it's available at Amazon.com. Fat Me Not, Weight Loss, and the Diet of the Future.
Yeah.
Thanks, doctor.
Thank you.
Take
Have
care.
a good one.
Yeah, Fat Me Not for sure.
Some of that stuff is, like I said, totally unavoidable. I mean,
I
there's
know.
sugar in
If I have a
everything.
brownie, then I feel myself starting to snack, and I'm like, darn, I didn't do this the other day. I need to stop. And it's like torture trying to wean
Self-control.
yourself off.
It's like cocaine. He just said that.
It's pretty sad.
Crazy.
Well, coming up, we're going to speak to the owner of Foggiare.
Foggiare.
Yes, it's a wellness center here in Florida.
I thought
So
we were
make sure
making
you
sauce.
stay tuned. We'll be back. You're listening to American Medicine Today.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thanks for listening to American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by Ethan Euchre.
Glad to be here.
Jeff Wagstaff's listening from the other room. And we have world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute. Without his microphone on. But in studio, we have Paul Gilbo. Now, he's founder of Foggiare.
There you go. He says it better than we do.
It's the Body Sculpting Institute in Largo, Florida, where they focus on full body wellness using unique concepts and technologies to shape, firm, and tone. And he's here to tell us all about it. So welcome to the program, Paul.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Now, we've already been to your facility.
And
in Largo,
and
we
it's pretty
filmed,
cool.
It's phenomenal.
Let me back up for a second, because I, as a fan of just athletics in general, but a big fan of mixed martial arts and fighting and this and that, I watch shows where fighters train, and after training, they get into ice baths and this and that. And, well, there was supposed to be some new technology called cryotherapy, where they put them in a chamber, and it's liquid nitrogen, and this, and I thought it was really cool, and I always wanted to cover it on the show.
Yes.
Well, there was no place in the area here in the Tampa Bay area that did that. And then a friend of mine said, well, hold on now. There's a new place that does that. So we reached out. That's just one part of many in the cog that is Foggiare.
Exactly.
But why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, well, what we try to do is look around the world at what types of technologies there were available that would help people basically lose weight, get better, feel better, get in better shape, and really work on both body and mind. And so far, the synergistic sort of technologies we've put together work extremely well together and provide a perfect environment to actually get that done. Cryotherapy, as you were mentioning, the ice baths.
Yes.
That's the precursor, obviously, to the cryotherapy chambers, which really work well on pain management, but it also has a whole load of other wellness-related applications as well as results, insofar as it does a tremendous amount to what gets released in the brain and works against inflammation.
Dr. Bonatti had some questions because we told him we got in this chamber that was at temperatures below 200 degrees Fahrenheit.
Absolutely.
For a matter of 3 minutes, and he
had some safety
was
concerns,
shocked.
I think. Yeah,
I thought she became an ice pick.
Yeah.
She's skinny enough to be an ice
pick.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you do have to be careful about extremities, and we do protect the customers by putting gloves and slippers, absolutely,
and long socks.
And long socks, exactly. And gentlemen, please wear your pants, your underwear, otherwise you may have an accident.
Some of the stories
you may stand up and something falls off.
Exactly. Nobody wants that to happen. Yeah, some of the stories Paul was telling us off camera, of course, were pretty interesting. Of people showing up with no underwear and they want to hop in this, and he's like,
no, you don't want frostbite on those.
No,
parts.
but I really, I don't understand very well the.
Paul's phone is going off.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead, Doc.
I don't really understand very well how this works, because one of the things that worries me, if you are going to put that amount of cold impression in a human body,
right?
You probably the distal, the small capillaries are going to be affected.
Yeah, let me give you the sort of scientific aspect of what happens to the body, which is very important to understand. Because your body immediately reacts as if you're in total hypothermia, your circulation reduces down to the core parts of your body, which is your heart and your brain. So the extremities basically shut down. The blood also becomes just centralized, and over that period of time, your body's reaction is shutting down everything it can to possibly keep you alive. You don't feel unwell during that process. I don't think you even know it's happening. And when you step out of that, the body reacts in a different way by creating as much as possible red blood cells and endorphins, and many things get released and chemical reactions occur in your brain, which allows you to revive your body. So what's happening there is the biggest aspect is anti-inflammatory. So any inflammation you have in your joints, in your muscles after extraneous exercises and things, totally gets removed so that you become pain-free.
So what you're doing is you're really shutting down the arteries and the capillaries and all this for a small period of time.
Exactly.
And then when the body regain, then you have a vasodilatation, and that flows through the body and creates and remove the inflammatory process and remove the irritations and all this.
Yes.
But aren't you concerned about that somebody having a stroke?
Definitely, there are there are contraindications. If you have certain heart conditions, it is probably contraindicated to be in these situations, and you do have to be careful. There are certain skin diseases maybe that we have. We have a list of different contraindications.
Yeah, maybe somebody has any type of vascular abnormality on the. For example, somebody who has a problem on the varicose veins, and then have a impaired circulation in the lower extremities.
Yeah,
you can froze the extremity, cannot regain the heat back in the period of time that you want.
Yeah.
And then probably you can lose the toes or something.
Right. No, I don't think that's as dramatic as you may think it is.
Okay.
Because
it scared me when somebody said to me that when 250 degrees of cold below zero.
Yeah. Well,
I thought that when you take her out from that the machine, she's going to break.
Bang her against the wall and she shatters into pieces.
Yeah.
When we came out, though, we felt very refreshed. It was very cold.
I enjoyed it.
I'm not going to kid around, but it was fun and it was invigorating. And when I got out, you really feel then very warm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then to really warm us up, we moved to another room, and it was called the steam room?
Yeah, the steam bath.
The steam bath.
Heat steam.
And that was such a cool contraption.
Yeah.
Where and I have to say, with the cryotherapy, your head is out.
Yeah.
Your
It
head
looks
is
so
sticking out.
scientific. It looks
Yeah.
like something out of Terminator. Somebody's
And then the steam.
that liquid nitrogen.
Yes,
And if
right.
you really do get uncomfortable, there is a very quick remedy that
Right.
takes seconds to happen, and that's just lifting your arms out of the
Correct.
chamber.
Right,
And
I remember you
immediately
saying that.
You're back. You're back to feeling great, and you can put them back down again.
Now, with the steam, when you're in this contraption, it looks like a smart car, and it kind of closes over you again. Your head is out. It is what? Ultraviolet?
Infrared.
Infrared, that was it.
Exactly.
Infrared. And then it had aromatherapy, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
Kind of explain the benefits
Just
of
the
that.
purpose of that. We only have about 2 minutes left, so we got a couple other to hit on.
There's a couple of benefits to this. Mostly, it allows the body to really detoxify itself, and as well as the cryotherapy does that extremely well. So coupled with the steam room, it does make you feel getting rid of all the toxins. You have a slimming effect.
Yes.
You have a toning and firming effect on the skin. The aromatherapy oils that we use, essential oils, have there's 3 different ones, and it goes in cycles, as well as the infrared technologies, which are a lot of infrared. We have 9 huge bulbs that provide you with, as you probably remember, pretty extreme heat.
Yes.
And that actually has a lot of beneficial things to your skin as well as to your body.
It wasn't uncomfortable. It was very relaxing.
It looked it.
Yes.
Yeah. And then real quickly, there's like 3 other things to hit. One was the tone up room, right?
Yeah, we have the other things that help you tone, firm, and shape your body, which are cavitation with ultrasound. We have electrostimulation, which we've just approved. We had approval from the FDA this morning for a new machine from Italy, which is electrostimulation, which gives you full body workout while you're lying there thinking of your favorite ice cream. And
then I liked the suit because I jumped in that one.
Absolutely,
Lymphatic
So we have a lymphatic drainage suit that gives you a full body massage and totally enables you to have a lymph drainage and helps your whole process. And then finally, one of the great things we have is the full body vibration.
I love this one.
Which that gives you so many benefits. They've even shown now in a new clinical trial the benefits on Alzheimer's.
Right.
All strengthening your bones and your muscles, and gives you a great workout.
Yes.
In very short time, burning lots of calories and making you feel great.
With the G-force of 17.
Up to 17.
Up to 17.
Gs. But which sounds dangerous because fighter pilots black out at like 9 Gs. But, so it's nothing like that. But
I tried that one before Ethan did.
Yes.
But it was amazing to be on the machine because you're trying to do the simplest of tasks. It could just be as simple as just trying to move up and down or trying to do push-ups. And it's virtually impossible on this.
It was really cool.
But it was so much fun.
And then super quick, the silk peel, which you did, which was interesting.
Okay, I have to say, I never would remove makeup for TV, and I did.
And
I did.
It was a big step for Kimberly.
It was great. My face was glowing. I didn't know what to expect, and apparently it's kind of like it's vacuuming your face.
This is the Hollywood star's favorite pre-red carpet
I can see
treatment.
why.
It gives you full dermal abrasion and infuses condition-specific solutions that really target whatever, and so you get great glowing skin and renews all your skin cells.
Sure.
And so it's like having a face peel. As well as a medical treatment, if you like.
How many times should you do something like that to get the best results?
Probably once every 2 to 4 weeks would be great, and about 4 to 6 sessions on the silk peel would be fantastic. Wow. And obviously the rest is all dependent on what your goals are and how you are.
Got it.
All right,
well, thank you so much. Paul Gilbo, founder of the Foggiare Body Sculpting Institute.
What's your website if people want information?
It's foggiareinstitute.com. And we're on West Bay Drive in Largo. Come and visit us. Would love to see you there.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Cool.
You're listening to American Medicine Today. Coming up next, you'll hear what's new. Make sure you stay tuned.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Bermel.
I love taping American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Bermel, joined by Ethan Euchre.
And I love it as well.
Junior Mint, Jeff Wagstaff.
Yes, I am.
And world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati. You know, this topic is important because it's Obamacare taxes have driven medical device research and companies overseas. So take it away. This is everything that you've been.
Yeah, but that's exactly true.
Right.
What really happens is in January 2013, our beautiful Obamacare committed another disaster in the healthcare.
Really?
And this time, what they did is they decided that they are going to tax medical devices.
Sure.
So the idea is to rob Peter to pay Paul.
Correct.
And then they look and they say, well, we will screw up the health system a little bit more, and we will make the devices to pay taxes.
Okay.
Well,
why is that bad?
Well, anything that's taxes is bad.
Indeed.
Okay? Yeah. Because it's part of our money going to the politicians who they don't know how to spend it, and what they spend every day more and more. That's why they are petrified of Trump. Because these people is going to go home and they're not going to have these taxes running like crazy once he put his hands on their neck. Now, let's talk about the medical devices. You put me in my
and you know,
soapbox here.
Well, with medical devices, you know this firsthand because you developed your own tools and instrumentation for your exclusive Bonati spine procedure. So explain what that process is like and why it's so important to not have those things.
Well, the major trouble is we didn't have this amount of taxes to develop procedures before.
Sure.
And you know what's really funny? A physician in the past was able to develop an idea and patent the idea.
Sure.
And then develop a solution for that idea with an instrument and patent the instrument. So physicians create new type of devices that they serve enormously medical field.
Right.
But the problem is then suddenly the politicians that decide they're going to take that right from the doctors,
right,
and in bed together with the special interests that they are companies,
correct,
that they produce the devices.
Sure.
They decided to avoid that the doctor can patent his procedure.
Well, that's after you got yours, sir. You did a good thing.
But that happens on the 90s.
Correct.
So the next thing that happens today is that they start to tax the devices.
Sure.
So they create two problems. One of the problems that they create is that the companies that they are producing the devices, they need to pay around $29 billion a year in any time that you patent those devices, that you create those devices.
Okay.
So it's very clear that amount of money is not something that they are going to pay without resistance.
Correct.
And every time when a politician puts a law, they never understand that the guy who's going to receive that half the taxes is more intelligent than him, than the politician. So the politician puts a solution that is dumb, and the individual who's creating this product decided that he's not going to pay those taxes.
Right.
So what happened is we lost probably around 45,000 jobs because of that idea. And at the same time, we had another problem. The jobs went to another countries. So the ideas went to other countries. So when you heard that damaging to the healthcare, because what happened now, we will need to buy things coming from other countries, especially countries like Germany.
Okay.
Because they are individuals that they produce this, and they give benefits to the individuals that they develop these things.
Right.
Well, we need to buy it. So something that can be produced here and give jobs to the people here now is going to be outside, and they are going to need to come here. And when they come here, we will need to pay for that one 3 or 4 times more the value that we can pay if we develop here.
Right.
I just don't understand why our own government would do things to. They're supposed to help the economy, help the people, help create jobs, and they seem to do nothing.
Mass exodus.
Except, push it all away and eliminate jobs. And
but that's common sense.
What's common sense?
What you just said is common sense. That's common sense.
But we're talking of what they should be doing?
Yes,
yeah,
what they should
the
be
politicians
doing.
don't have common sense. The politicians are being driven by who is going to pay them and fill up their pockets.
Correct.
And then that's why when you see today this enormous
no action.
Yeah, but when you see this enormous fight that there right now, when they are saying that the GOP is so upset with Trump that they want to derail them, well, the real truth is they're petrified of the man.
Correct.
Because what is going to happen is the special interests are not going to have a door open to make these dirty deals and destroy the working individuals in this country or the ideas from this country, because he is not sold to them.
Right, because he saw the pitfalls. As a businessman, you do what is right by your business. So he knows those loopholes. He's the perfect person to have as president because he can clamp down on those loopholes. He can close them up, sew them up, and get our economy running again.
It's so much common sense what he said, that if you really are in your house and you start to listen the things that he said, is how you would like to drive your own home. This is how you would like to help your family, your friends, your workers. Okay, it's common sense.
Right.
The rest of the other thing is something hidden. When you see these people from the radio sometimes talk a lot of bad things about him, dig a little bit, and you're going to see that they are totally sold to some type of individuals that they are special interests.
And let's face it, freebies aren't free.
Of course
exactly.
Not. Yeah. Well, common sense is certainly not so common.
Exactly.
Nowadays.
Well, that about wraps things up on American Medicine Today. Make sure you tweet at Dr. Bonatti. Ask some questions. If you have topics you want us to cover, send them over. We'll answer back, and hey, we might actually cover them in our next program.
You never know.
Make sure you check us out on Bloomberg, WFTS here in Tampa, and KTNV in Las Vegas. Bye.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden, I can cook, and I'm really thrilled. The outcome has been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.